What's going on, guys? We'd like to welcome you to the Soto Podcast. I'm DJJustJayOK. We're going to talk about this chick right here on my screen. She's old enough to know better and definitely not young enough for people to say, well, she's a kid. No, you know better if you're old enough to be a parent. If you're legally grown, I'm sorry. We have to start holding people accountable, right? This is out of a place called Bear, Delaware. I've never heard of it. I don't know much about Delaware. And you guys know that Delaware is a very small state. How many of you people know people from Delaware? I don't know anything about Delaware, right? But nonetheless, this story made the news because it's just stupid. Okay? Now, a 19-year-old woman, Delaware daycare worker, has been charged with the murder of a 4-year-old baby girl by the name of Isabella. Now, I got this name because they didn't post it anywhere. There was somebody on Facebook that posted that name, and I'm assuming that they know exactly who they were talking about because they were referring to this story, okay? So it's a 4-month-old baby girl by the name of Isabella after police say that she suffocated. The daycare worker suffocated the baby after the baby would not stop crying. I'm asking you guys a question, because I know a lot of times people want to say that I'm wrong for the commentary that I have, but I want to ask you guys, what do babies do? Last time I checked, that's what babies do. We got some people in here in the chat from Delaware. Okay, well, how about that? Last time I checked, babies cry. Am I wrong? Maybe somebody can tell me. I thought that's mainly what babies do. They eat, they sleep, and they cry. But the crazy thing is if you are a daycare worker, then you are literally going to work this job knowing that this is what babies do, and you're telling them when you apply for this job, I am qualified to handle this. Okay? I understand that sometimes babies can work your nerves, but that's why I also appreciate daycare workers, because I believe that it takes a very special kind of person to work these kind of jobs. And what they have to do is they have to stop hiring. I don't know. I can't even say that. Let's just say this is a bad person. This is a very, very bad person. Her name is Dejoynay M. Ferguson, and the way that they spelled her name is Dejoynay. D-E, and then Joey, J-O-Y, and then Nay, N-A-Y. Dejoynay, with this awesome, unique name, is 19 years old, and the baby was under her care at this place in Newcastle called the Little People Child Development Center in Bear, Delaware. Surveillance video at Little People Child Development Daycare shows Dejoynay M. Ferguson pick up the 4-month-old child by the front of her shirt. Keep in mind, this is a 4-month-old baby. Pick the child up by the front of her shirt and place the baby on a changing table according to court documents, not according to my personal feelings. Okay, so for the people that tell me, where do I get my facts from? I get them from the documents, court documents, the stuff that they're going to use against her in court. Okay, Ferguson could then be seen on camera putting her hands on the child's face for more than 3 minutes. Ferguson was wearing latex gloves at the time. So what this means is she went to go get latex gloves. So that means she was consciously thinking about, I'm going to smother this baby to death, but I'm going to put latex gloves on. I don't even know what the point is of putting latex gloves. But then again, why would you smother a crying baby when that's what babies do, right? Okay, now, the child was unresponsive and motionless when Ferguson removed her hands from the baby's face. Then she took the child and placed her in the crib based on what the police are saying. Because keep in mind, they have video evidence. Yes, that's what daycares do. Because they have to make sure that they do what's best by these children. And I am so glad that they have. It could end up being premeditated, right? Thank you, J. Marie. It could end up being premeditated because of the gloves. But daycares have to have cameras, and I'm glad that they did in this instance, because I can guarantee you that this little bride would have lied about what she did. After about approximately 20 minutes, this girl, again, Dejoynay Ferguson, advised the owner of the daycare that the baby was unresponsive, at which time the 911 call was made. Delaware State Police Master Corporal Michael Austin said in a statement. So she waited 20 minutes to say something. Ferguson's initial story to the police was different than what was seen on surveillance camera. Every daycare provides latex or nitrile gloves just like doctor offices for health reasons. I get that. But like my guy Mephisto said, cameras don't lie. Her initial story, she told police, was different than what they saw on camera. So they waited for her to give her account of what happened. And what did they do? Went back and watched the tape. I don't like liars. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't like any liars. I don't feel like there's any reason to lie. But after she sat down with investigators, Ferguson explained that she grabbed the child by the shirt because the baby had become fussy and wouldn't stop crying. State police said that the death occurred at 10:30 a.m. Thursday at the center at 3843 Wrangle Hill Road in Bear, Delaware. The Bear location is one of three daycares operated by the business, according to the website, with other sites in Christiana and Newcastle. And on Friday, the location in Christiana at 122 East Main Street was open, according to an employee who answered the door. A worker at the Newcastle location at 1169 South DuPont Highway on Friday declined to comment, and it was unclear whether the facility was open to family or just staff. Now, a person who answered the Bear Center's phone Friday morning would not speak to the news reporter about the incident, but said someone else would. When the person was asked to identify himself, the man hung up the phone. Now, I'm going to show you guys a picture real quick because you will not see this anywhere else. This photo is a photo that somebody on Facebook posted, and this is who we believe to be 4-month-old baby Isabella. This is my philosophy. When the baby or the child is dead and posthumous, they no longer are at risk or there's no threat level for them anymore. And I don't see anything wrong with showing who the victim actually was and who was victimized, because this is extremely sad, okay? Now, we got just over 200 people. If you guys would, when you come into the show and when you watch the stream, because we are live right now, just make sure you click that thumbs up. I want you guys to share this stream so everybody can hear the story of baby Isabella, okay? I'm calling her baby Isabella based on what someone said on Facebook. Her photo was on GoFundMe. Do you guys have the GoFundMe link? I have not found that. If anybody is able to find the GoFundMe link, post it in the chat, okay, so we can find that. I will absolutely talk about the GoFundMe, okay? Now, the Office of Child Care Licensing has suspended the license of the daycare indefinitely. And Ferguson was charged with first-degree murder, and she's currently being held on a $1 million cash bail at the Dolores J. Baylor Women's Correctional Institution. A whole $1 million. And I think it's justified. According to the state's website, the Child Center Daycare has reported one facility injury in 2019, 2018, and 2016. The state did not immediately respond to questions about what a facility injury means and if children were involved, okay? Now, Joseph Smack, who is a spokesperson for the Department of Services for Children, Youth, and their Families, said that the Little People Child Development Center had no compliance issues, noted in its May inspection. All of its employees, including Ferguson, had passed the required background checks, he added. Ferguson, according to court records, has been assigned to the infant room, which is where she picked up the child from off the floor. According to the state's website, oh, that part I've already read. Okay. Ferguson, who was charged with first-degree murder, is being held at the Baylor Women's Correctional Institution Friday morning, and her Facebook profile shows that she graduated in 2013 from P.S. DuPont Middle School and later attended Howard High School of Technology, and at Howard, she was involved in the school's Legal Support Services career program, and that's what was reported. So let me go ahead and give you guys the fair use and show you guys the news videos that were out there. Let me go ahead and let these pictures run, by the way. Let me go ahead and give you guys fair usage. Again, when you guys come in, click that thumbs up if you would. If you notice, we do have about 231 people. Share this story, man. Share the story of this little baby, okay? Hit that thumbs up. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I want to know from the people that are in the chat, how many of you people are outraged that this type of thing continues to happen? We have to start caring about our kids. How many of you guys are pissed off about this? I don't know Isabella's name, but if you guys have that GoFundMe link, if you would either post it or you can email it to me. My email address is right here. It's thesotopodcast, THE, thesotopodcast@gmail.com. But I was not able to find the GoFundMe, so if y'all have it, feel free to send it to me. Let's go ahead and start with the news videos.
And new at noon, a daycare worker in Delaware is facing murder charges for the death of a 4-month-old baby. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Davis is live in Bear, Newcastle County, with what we've learned about the teenage suspect. Kim.
Janelle, good afternoon. Well, this daycare facility is closed indefinitely as the investigation into the death of an infant continues this midday. Let's show you a look at the daycare worker who has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. This is 19-year-old Dejoynay Ferguson. She's accused of suffocating a 4-month-old baby girl while working at the Little People Child Development Center in Bear, Delaware. According to police, Ferguson put her hands over the victim's mouth and nose and intentionally restricted her breathing until the infant was unresponsive. We're told that's when she put the baby back in her crib and alerted the daycare owner. About 20 minutes later, the baby was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead around 10:30 yesterday morning. The Office of Child Care Licenses has suspended the license of the daycare facility here indefinitely. There is a press conference happening at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We will be there for that and bring you the very latest in this investigation tonight on Eyewitness News.
Somebody said that they called her a teenager, and I want to point that out because I do think that's important. Because in my opinion, you do not lessen this by calling this adult, this female adult, a teenager. She is a grown-ass woman. How many of you people agree with that? She's a grown-ass woman. She's more than old enough to have kids, and most of you people actually knew or grew up with people who were starting to have kids at age 18, 19, 20, 21. She's 19 years old. Way old enough to know better. Way old enough. Age is definitely not an excuse. Yeah, thank you. Barely a teenager. And I think that's weird. Like, we would never do this if it were a man. I just think that's weird, right? I agree with Lady La. Says she's grown as fuck. I agree with you. Absolutely. That's just flat out irresponsible for them to call her a teenager when she murdered a 4-month-old baby. Okay? Let's go ahead and keep going. I got a couple more videos for you guys. So I'm proud that they were at least trying to get the word spread about this story, okay? Let's keep going.
A daycare worker in Delaware is facing murder charges tonight in the death of a 4-month-old. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Davis has the latest from Bear, Delaware on the investigation and the teenage suspect.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a poll from you guys here in a little bit. And so I want you guys to be thinking. You don't have to post it right now, but I want you guys to give me, in your estimation, what you think the penalty should be. because I think the public opinion matters. Okay? So I want to know what you guys think her penalty should be when she is convicted, because I believe that they're going to convict her flat out. I think it's going to be a slam dunk for the prosecutor. So I want to know either how much time you guys think that she should get, or should she be given the ultimate penalty under law. But I want you guys to post that in the chat here in a little bit. But just think about it for a second, okay?
The daycare here will remain closed until further notice. County officials want to make sure that children left at this facility are safe. Meanwhile, the teen accused of murdering a crying baby is being held on $1 million bond.
Elle is Creator pointed out a really, really important thing. For all my pro-black people out there talking about you need to stop disparaging our sisters, our sisters, our sisters. I want to know who in the black community is going to claim this woman by the name of Dejoynay Ferguson, who's going to claim that that's their people, that's our people, that's one of our sisters. Great question. That's a great call out. And I'm glad to see that some of the pro-blacks out there, I was watching this whole weekend, listening to some of y'all. I'm glad, and you can tell that they're starting to listen to my videos, which is a good thing, right? I want them to know that that whole pro-black rhetoric and that bullshit that they continue to keep pressing out there is only doing more harm to our people, okay? We got to change the stereotypes by way of our actions and stop claiming the trash of our community. Now let's keep going.
Just like our knocks, our calls were also left unanswered when it came to contacting Janice Palmer, the owner of the Little People Child Development Center. The daycare has been shut down after a child was allegedly murdered by one of her employees around 10:30 Thursday morning.
19-year-old Dejoynay Ferguson of Newcastle, who was a assigned caregiver for the 4-month-old victim in the facility, knowingly and intentionally restricted the breathing of the infant by placing her hands over the nose and mouth of the victim.
Dejoynay Ferguson, a certified early childhood assistant teacher, is now charged with first-degree murder. One of her neighbors who talked to us is shocked.
I'm stunned. I'm more than shocked. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. These are nice people.
According to police, after the baby was no longer responsive, Ferguson allegedly put the baby back in her crib and waited 20 minutes to alert the daycare owner. We tried to speak with the Ferguson family, but no one answered the door or our calls. Ferguson was hired at the Little People Child Development Center in January of 2019 after passing a thorough background check. Investigators are hoping for swift justice for a life that was taken too soon. Janice Palmer is the owner-operator of this daycare facility, but she also owns 2 other facilities. One is located in Newark, the other one is located in Newcastle. We have left numerous messages with Palmer regarding this deadly incident, but she has yet to return any of our calls. Reporting in Bear, Delaware, I'm Kimberly Davis, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
I want to give a shout out real quick if you guys don't mind. First of all, for the 2 people that donated, I want to say thank you to Tamika W. If you're in the chat, I want to thank you who hit us up in Cash App. And thank you to my brother Mephisto who donated in Cash App as well. Let me shout out Our Lives Matter real quick because I can pull that message up. So if you guys will give me a moment, we might have found the GoFundMe because they said that they're listening right now. So that's pretty dope. And I want to thank them for their support, not only for allowing me to post my links on their page. If you're listening to me, I want to thank you again, but for them to understand that what we're trying to do is advocate for these babies. Okay. So let me pull up their message real quick and try to find this GoFundMe because CJ said he couldn't find it. I couldn't find it on my own, but let me see if this is the right link. Family and friends have shared this with me. Okay, good deal. So that's awesome. This is the GoFundMe, so I hope that they don't mind me showing this because I told you guys when we deem that it is proper, I don't mind us, if we want to donate to these GoFundMes, okay? but I feel like it has to be in line whenever you're asking for crowdfunding. So let me go ahead and put this on the screen. I'm going to cover myself up for a second so I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys, okay? So yes, if they are listening, then shout out to Our Lives Matter. That's what it's all about, man. This is a team effort for us supporting these kids and advocating for these babies. They're asking for $20,000 by way of their goal. They're at $10,000 within, this was created 2 days ago. Funerals and Memorials is who is tagged right here. Niche Brooks' mom is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of Amanda Livingston, who apparently is the mother of this kid. So there's more information here. They've set up a GoFundMe to relieve any financial stress during this sorrowful time. That is the baby. God, dog. Beautiful little baby, too. And that's the mother. And I'm assuming that might be the mother and father. Wow. Y'all see this? Beautiful little baby, too. There's the GoFundMe. I'm assuming that they're probably not going to have any problems reaching that goal, but I can guarantee you guys the parents are not even worried about that money at this point. They probably care way more about the fact that they lost their baby due to a stupid bitch that should not have been allowed to care for this kid. To me, in my opinion, the infants are the ones that are the most defenseless. And I think I don't really know what else you're supposed to do. You make them go through the training, you know what I'm saying? You check their history, you check their you check all the boxes, and you're expecting these people to do their fucking jobs. I really don't know what else you're supposed to do. You did your background check. So at this point, you just have to hold the individual that did this responsible, and it sucks. It sucks the fact that the parent is going to have to suffer this loss like that. It's absolutely ridiculous, okay? So they definitely have our support. Let's go ahead and move on to, we got a couple more videos, okay? And while you guys are watching, don't forget to at least click the thumbs up, because that shares this stream and lets other people know that we're live telling the story of baby Isabella, okay? Let's keep going.
With murder in connection with the death of a 4-month.
Now, I've got a better video than that one. I don't really like that one. That one's a little bit hard to hear.
Developing right now, baby's death at a daycare is under investigation. Delaware State Police say the infant died this morning at the Little People Child Development Center in Bear, Delaware. The daycare's license is now suspended indefinitely. We continue to work to find out how the baby died.
And charged with killing a baby she was supposed to be taking care of. State police say the 4-month-old was killed at a daycare center in Bear, Delaware. Our Jeff Cole is live at the State Police Barracks in Newark. What are police saying, Jeff?
Well, state police are saying that they have a videotaped confession from the 19-year-old child care worker who tells them that she killed the baby because the baby was fussy. The Little People Child Development Center has operated in Bear, Delaware since 2008. It's licensed to care for 87 children, including infants, in a special room with a video camera and a 1 to 4 adult-to-child supervision.
Yesterday, a family's world was changed forever. As a parent, personally, I am heartbroken for them. As a spokesperson for Delaware State Police, I can assure you that everyone within this agency feels the same way.
Delaware State Police say it was in the infant room Thursday morning that 19-year-old Dejoynay Ferguson, an assistant teacher, took the life of a 4-month-old female. According to the criminal complaint, Ferguson is seen on camera grabbing the child, laying on the floor by the shirt, and placing her on a changing table. Ferguson is then recorded putting on latex gloves and covers the child's face area with her hands for over 3 minutes.
The breathing was restricted until the infant became unresponsive.
How many of these stories have I done where people that are in charge of taking care of these kids have restricted the breathing, choked these kids out, made them suffocate by sitting on them, choking them, hanging them, beating them unconscious? This again is while I tell you guys, You do not put your hands, feet, or other objects on children. You do not physically discipline children. We have to get away from this. America, it's 2019. Sorry, we cannot continue to keep parenting in this Neanderthal way. I'll say that again. We cannot continue to parent in a Neanderthal way. You don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to take my club, I'm going to beat you across the head with it. Sorry, I'm sorry, we live in the information age nowadays. You don't have to parent that way. And I'll remind you guys, if you need parenting tips, please email me. Do not hurt or harm another child. I will give you tips, I will counsel you, I will do whatever I need to do and try to help you guys out and learn a better way to parent, because I have some excellent tips with regard to raising teenagers and even babies. But we have to stop being physical with these kids. You talked about this earlier today. Thank you, Lady Lot. We need more people to do so. We need more people to do so. I know you're in relationship rehab. I've been watching out lately, and y'all guys have been doing a great job talking about that stuff. So we absolutely need more people to jump on board to defend these babies, okay? Let's keep going, and y'all click that thumbs up. We almost got about 300 people. Let's push that number up. Let's get some more people here. Let's talk about this, okay?
At which time she was placed into a crib in the infant center of the facility.
According to investigators, Ferguson waits 20 minutes before telling the owner of the daycare the child is unresponsive. Records show she told police she killed the little girl because she would not stop crying. State regulators say Ferguson had passed a criminal background check and had the required experience to work in the center. Charged with murder one, she's being held on $1 million bond. There was no answer at her Newark home this afternoon.
I'm assuming that that's probably her parents' home that they're at right there. And the chat is actually moving. I'm looking at it on here, so you might have to refresh your screen, but the chat is definitely moving. So I made sure I corrected that, okay? Let's keep going.
Now, the child care facility has been...
Clara said that this reminded her of Big Belly Bowens out of Houston. A lot of these situations are very, very similar, and you'll start to notice these similar patterns. So when you guys see this and you see something, you absolutely must say something. You might actually save a child's life, okay?
Shut down while the state regulates the...
I'll tell you guys this. I also do not advocate for people physically intervening, because I don't want to put you guys in any level of legal risk. I don't want you guys at risk of going to jail by jumping in and stopping a situation. But make sure if you see something that you feel is not right, make sure you report it to the proper authorities. I want to make sure that we're responsible about that, okay? Don't want you guys getting in trouble. But I do respect you, and I do understand if you did do it. I get it. I totally understand. You don't want to see a kid get beat up or hurt and then you just don't do nothing. I understand. As a parent, in your heart, right up in here, this little thing up in here, I get it. I understand. But I can't encourage you to put yourself in legal risk either, though, okay?
State regulators investigate it. State police say their investigation is continuing as well. There was no return call by the owner of the daycare facility. She owns 2 other facilities. They are operating. The facility in question here has had 3 complaints in recent years, but state regulators say none have been substantiated and no fines placed. Live in Newark at the State Police Troop, I'm Jeff Cole, Fox 20.
Yesterday, a family's world was changed forever. As a parent, personally, I am heartbroken for them. As spokesperson for the Delaware State Police, I can assure you that everyone within this agency feels the same way. We want to let the family know that the investigators who are leading this investigation, the detectives, will do everything within their means to thoroughly investigate and successfully prosecute this case. To yesterday, a family
with murder in connection with...
And I got one more video to show you guys here. Let me thank Miss Mina real quick for the donation right there. It said, leave me alone with her for 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to tell you, that's a woman that recognizes just wrong is wrong. So thank you, Miss Mina, for your super chat donation there. Let me also shout out a couple more people real quick. Kydra, if you're in the chat, sweetheart, I always love you, and I appreciate you for always supporting and donating. Again, thank you to Tamika W in the chat. Also, thank you to my brother Mephisto. Mephisto, man, has been on it lately, man, for real. So I appreciate you guys supporting so much. Let me also shout out another couple people real quick. I did get your message, my brother, Relationship Rehab. This is from Jazzo. Thank you for all that you do. So Jazzo, if you're listening, I want to thank you. And if you guys want to send a message in real quick, this is an easy way to do it. And salute, let me see, supporting my brother for always doing an outstanding job, bro. Salute. I give it right back to you, my brother, Relationship Rehab. Thank you, man. Thank you to everybody who has ever donated anything to our platform. Whether you have a wrench or whether you don't, thank all of you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you guys to feel like if you don't have a wrench, your word doesn't matter. Everybody's opinion in this matters. And what I want to know from you guys right now is, what do you guys think is an appropriate sentence for Dejoynay M. Ferguson, who's 19 years old, who literally killed a defenseless, innocent baby by choking her out, and she lied. Don't forget about that. That should be a criminal offense, whether it be perjury, but there needs to be some type of special clause. If you give a story to the police and they find out that you're lying, I think that you should get more time for that. Tack on another couple of years. What do you guys think the appropriate charge should be? How many years? Do y'all think that she should get 5 years in jail? 10, 15, 20, 30, 50? A life sentence, double life? Should they execute the harshest criminal penalty that the state and the law of the land allows? Should she be executed for this? Like, I'm just asking for you guys' opinion. At the end of the day, it's going to matter what the courts say. But I want you guys to weigh in, because I feel like you people in the chat, your opinion about this matters. Okay? I do listen to you. When you email me, I listen. When you post in the chat, I listen. When you leave your comments, I do listen to you. And I know that there are some people out there that don't like what I have to say. I'm going to tell you guys this. I just got another emailed death threat on my life. You have people that apparently have this misguided anger, and they continue to keep threatening me and my life over my opinion about defending children who are defenseless, who cannot speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. I don't take threats lightly, but I think that you're not really that serious. If you're going to email me a threat or comment me a threat, I think you're dumb, especially when you leave your email address and your name, by the way. But nonetheless, I think that you just have misguided anger and you just don't understand where we're coming from. Take the time to kick back and listen. And understand what we're trying to do is we're trying to save our youth. That's what we do as adults. We're trying to save the youth and protect those and nourish those and teach those who can actually make a change in our country and going forward. That's our legacy. Our children are our legacy. And I'll do anything that I can for my daughter to make sure that she has every opportunity to succeed in this life. That's what we do as parents. That's what we do as parents. But I don't want you guys to think that this is a one-time thing or this has happened 2 or 3 times. This has been going on for a while. I've gotten death threats on Instagram. I've gotten death threats on Twitter. I've gotten death threat videos. Maybe I'm the crazy one because I don't take those kind of threats seriously, because if you're going to do something, I think you would just do it. I don't think that you would type it. But nonetheless, I just think that it's misguided. That's all. Misguided anger. Be mad at the people who are committing the offenses. I'll say that one more time. Be mad at the people who are committing the offenses rather than the people who are giving commentary on the offenses. And these are the type of things that continue to make people look at our people bad. They keep saying, well, black women are horrible people. That's what they're saying. That's just simply words, but we're judging the actions. We need the actions to change. We need the mentality to change. That's the only way we're going to get better. If we want better treatment in this country, if y'all want to be treated fair, you're tired of people so-called disrespecting us, then we need to stop stealing. We need to stop killing, and we need to stop destroying. How many people agree with what DJ Just Jay just said? We need to stop killing. We need to stop stealing, and we need to stop destroying. At some point, we need to start building. We need to start caring. We need to start raising our children to be the best and be respectable. That's my standpoint. I'm going to let this last video play out, and then we're going to close out, okay? And if you guys want to utilize any of those links in the description box, I really would appreciate that. Let me read this super chat that came in. It said, on behalf of Our Lives Matter. Okay, there you go. Nurse Mommy 4. Let me go ahead and add you as a moderator. And I want to say thank you so much for being not only a place where we could share our word, but thank you for even coming in and just supporting for these kids. I really appreciate that. Southern Girl, thank you, Jay, for the AFC. And again, the AFC means Advocates for Children. Thank you guys for being a part of the AFC. Let's let this last video play out, man. Thank everybody for the support. Let's go.
With the death of a 4-month-old at a daycare.
Investigators say the infant was under the woman's care at the time of death. Action News reporter John Rollins live at the daycare center in Bear with the very latest on this arrest. John.
I missed one more. We got 2 Cash Apps in. Bolo said, for your work, thank you to Bolo by way of Cash App, and then he left one more message. That's why I say if y'all send it this way, I'll see it, even if I miss it in the chat sometimes. The devil is trying to shut the truth down. He said the devil is trying to shut the truth down. And I do believe that, because if you guys notice, most of the people that are speaking the truth are generally the ones that are more attacked than we do actually attacking the problems that plague the United States of America. Our communities, our neighborhoods, our families, the social constructs that we have, like marriages, mothers and fathers. You guys kind of see how this is coming back into play? Let me thank Green Eyes Reed real quick. Always supporting the AFC. That's Green Eyes Reed, and she left her message. Again, you guys can click that link in the description box. Real easy thing to do. It doesn't take anything more than 4 quarters. If you have more, and if you find it financially feasible, if you can find it in your budget, then you can support our platform. We're always trying to make sure and give you guys the very best of ourselves. Hashtag AFC rules. Keep up the good work, DJ Just Jay. We advocate for the children. Miss Shirley, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for that.
Well, we certainly have covered deaths at daycare centers before. Sometimes it's natural causes or accidental or even negligence. But what the state police say in this case is that it's a case of first-degree murder and that it was all captured on video. Charged with first-degree murder, 19-year-old child...
I couldn't imagine what that'd be like to be one of them police officers that had to watch that on tape. Can y'all imagine that? Can you imagine being in a position and have a job that requires you to watch video evidence of a murder? That's mind-boggling to me. I couldn't do that. Love you right back, Lanisha. Thank you, sweetheart. I couldn't do a job like that. You have to physically watch a murder on camera. That's crazy. And we don't respect our police officers? Well, they treating us bad. No, we got to treat each other better. That's what we need to do. That's a hard-ass job to have to do, period.
Case of first-degree murder, and that it was all captured on video. Charged with first-degree murder, 19-year-old child care worker Dejoynay Ferguson of Newcastle. Police documents say video from inside the Little People Child Development.
It very well could be a hate crime, Mac Alpha. That's a great call out. I see y'all comments in the chat. Think about what Mac Alpha said. Leave your comments. If y'all think that if y'all agree with what he said, post it and let me know. I feel where he's coming from. This could actually qualify as a hate crime, could it not? It could. Let's go.
Center in Bear, where she worked, shows Ferguson yesterday grabbing a 4-month-old girl from the floor and putting her on a changing table. Ferguson is seen putting on latex gloves.
Lord footage, if you have that link, email me the link. I'd be happy to take a look at that, okay? My email address is right here if you can see it on the screen, ZSoto Podcast. Email that to me. I'd be happy to take a look at that story.
And then allegedly covering the infant's mouth and nose for more than 3 minutes. Police say the once moving, responsive child becomes motionless and unresponsive before Ferguson removes her hands. It's further alleged the video shows Ferguson placing the infant...
Let me thank Bolo again, who just sent in another Cash App. Again, brother, I appreciate that message, man. Thank you so much.
In a crib and wait approximately 20 minutes before notifying the center's owner of the unresponsive infant. The owner called 911. Well, according to police, Ferguson initially tried to give a statement that was inconsistent with what was on the video. Eventually, according to police, she told authorities the baby would not stop crying, and then in a recorded statement, she allegedly confessed to detectives that she did intentionally kill the victim. Live in Bear, Delaware, John Rollins, Channel 6 Action News.
I think somebody might have recorded that off of their phone. I would have preferred to just have the original news footage, which is normally why I go for those particular videos. Nonetheless, I want to again thank you guys, man. We had almost about 300 people here tonight. If you guys don't mind, I want to go ahead and give you my closing thoughts here real quick. And again, thank you to everybody that donated. I don't know why I can't see this last message on here, but I'll check it here in just a moment. But let me go ahead and close out by saying this. Again, I think this sucks because first and foremost, we really don't know what these 3 other incidents were at the daycare, because they said they had a facility injury in 2019, 2018, and 2016, but they did not define what a facility injury means and if children were involved. That's the first thing. So we don't know whether we can condemn this daycare for those 3 incidents. But one thing that I can tell you is that most daycares across the country that are doing things the right way, do their background checks, and give these people the training. At the end of the day, you're doing what you're supposed to do as a daycare owner. You're doing what you're supposed to do. At that point, it is the responsibility of the daycare workers to make sure and do right by these children. So number one, they did every injustice. She did. That person right there, that adult right there, Dejoynay Ferguson, took the life of baby Isabella. That's 4-month-old baby Isabella. It's inexcusable. And one thing that I don't ever want to hear is I don't want to hear an excuse as to why this happened. It happened and she needs to be charged for it. And to the family, man, I don't really know what to say. I am just so sorry for this. But I'll tell you guys this, you know, I'm thankful for my daughter's mother. Me and her worked it out in our work schedules early on where we didn't have to take my daughter to daycare until she was quite a bit older. She was already walking and talking by the time my daughter started going to daycare. Again, shout out to Crystal Chan, who just had her birthday here this past Friday again. And I want to thank everybody who wished her a happy birthday. I am so honored, man, and my daughter is such a pleasure to be around. You know, we had dinner, I got her a gift, and, you know, she was thankful. Daddy didn't know whether he did, right, you know, got her the gift that she wanted, and she said I did, so I did good, okay? But it is such an honor and a pleasure to be around her. She is so pleasant. She's so thoughtful, and, I mean, I am just honored to be a father. I tell her every day that it is an honor to be her father. Looking at this story, Dejoynay Ferguson robbed a mother and a father of the opportunity to watch their kid grow like I've watched my kid grow from birth. That hurts my heart. It hurts my soul to know that these people that are like her, people that think like her, people that were raised potentially without fathers like her, can be this cold-hearted, can be this callous. And I think it comes from a mentality. And I don't think it comes from the white man. It doesn't come from the white man. It comes from her foundation. What's her foundation, like Bolo says? Or not like Bolo said, but Bolo gave me credit for saying, excuse me. It comes from home. It starts in the home. And I appreciate my brother for always giving me credit for saying that. It starts from the moment they are born. And Dejoynay Ferguson, her mentality started from the moment she was born. The things that she either got or didn't get, or the values that she was raised, or maybe lack thereof, started from her foundation. That's why these broken homes can end up being so dangerous, because when it is crucial for us to make these decisions around other people and we fail, lives are lost. And that's where it's got to stop. We have to start right now, and we got to start separating ourselves from the trash of our community and saying, she don't represent our community. She's not our people. She needs to go away and do a hell of a lot of time, and she needs to suffer under the hands of the law at this point. I want to thank everybody who came through to listen to this. If you guys want to find that GoFundMe, let me go ahead and tell you guys again how to find it. It is titled Under Justice for Isabella, if you guys want to find that. And they actually did use the same photo that I used, so I did have the right photo. Justice for Isabella. Again, to the family and to the friends, our condolences and our hearts go out to you. And for your loss, it was senseless and you did not deserve what you got. You trusted a daycare, and daycares are there in order to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to go out and work and make sure that you provide a stable home for your kid. And they failed you. And I think the state did the right thing by shutting this daycare down indefinitely. That's the end of the stream. Other than that, I just want to know, the only other thing I want to know is how many years did they give her? What was her penalty? What did they sentence her to? Screw her. She fucked up. Period. And she lied. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. That's why we're the AFC, because we advocate for children first. We don't advocate for this kind of behavior, period. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Prayer hands up for baby Isabella. R.I.P. Let me get that baby's picture back up on the screen so we can respect her. Okay? That's baby Isabella. R.I.P. baby Isabella, man. Thank you guys so much, man. We're going to go ahead and close it out like that. We'll see you on the next stream, okay?